Hello, I'm Daniel. I'm going to give a talk today from the 37 Practices of All Bodhisattvas. And this verse I'm going to talk about today is called Giving Up Concern for This Life. Giving up concern for this life. And I'm going to read the passage and then I'm going to comment on it. So here's the passage. Separated from each and every long-awaited companion, leaving behind hard-earned wealth and possessions, guest-like consciousness abandons its guest house, the body. To give up concern for this life is the practice of the Bodhisattvas. So, this is kind of dark, huh? So, this is about impermanence and death, which are facts of life that we try to not think about sometimes. So, we are going to be separated from everything. Ultimately, the truth is you can't hold on to anything. And we sort of tend to think sometimes there are things we can hold on to. There are whole industries around like keeping yourself looking young, like you can making you pretend you can hold on to your body. And you can't. It's getting older, it's changing, and ultimately it's gonna fall apart. And that's a hard thing to think about, but we sort of have constant reminders. Look at the gray in my beard. So pretending that we're going to stick around and have all this forever, I think doesn't help us. I think it's more helpful to be honest. And when we're honest, then the hope is that if we're honest with ourselves about how you can't really hold on to anything, then we're not going to try so hard to hold on to everything. And we're not going to be so obsessed with material things also. I think I don't know where this comes from, but there's a proverb that says, there are no pockets in burial shrouds. There are no pockets in burial shrouds. And what's that mean? It means that rich or poor, it doesn't matter. You're not taking anything with you. There's no pockets, right? So if you have all the money in the world, it doesn't matter. You're not taking it with you. And just reflecting on these things, reflecting on how we're all in this together. We're going to lose every one of our loved ones, ultimately, or they're going to lose us, right? Ultimately, that's what's going to happen. And there's nothing we can do about that, except what I want to suggest is just realizing the impermanence of life can hopefully help us to be more present in our lives. Why? Because we can add vividness and clarity to our life, even if we can't add years to it. And maybe if we take really good care of ourselves, we can add years to it, but also maybe not, right? We never know. That's the other aspect of this, is that it's really uncertain. It's really uncertain, and you can try really hard to take care of yourself and have it not matter. So that's just a fact of life too. And so my intention is to just suggest that we don't have to hang on to possessions so tightly because, again, they're not ours forever, right? It's all temporary. Whatever you get, you're going to lose. And so maybe we can stop being so obsessed with possessions all the time. And maybe we can learn how to just accept that things are impermanent, and when our health starts to go, and when it becomes clear that things are going in a certain direction, maybe we're not so upset, but we're just like, okay, well, I knew this was going to happen, and this is happening. I knew this was going to happen, and this is happening. I lost both my parents when I was a teenager. My dad got cancer when I was 15 years old, and he lived for a year. Stomach cancer, esophagus and stomach cancer, and he lived for 11 months, and then he passed. And 3 years later, my mother got lung cancer, and same thing. She lived for 11 months. They did treatment, but And after 11 months, she passed. And I was 19 when she passed. And I'm just telling you that to tell you. And my parents, I was born they were in their 40s when I was born. So they died in their 50s, in their mid 50s. And at the time, I thought they were in their 50s. It didn't occur to me until I got older that was a terrible tragedy and that dying in your 50s is very sad. But I didn't know that when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, I thought that wasn't too far outside normal. And then as I've gotten older, now I'm 40, and now I think, oh my gosh, my parents, if I'm like them, I have 15 or 16 years left, right? So as I've gotten older, I've started to realize, oh, they died it's a tragedy that they left me behind, of course, but they died quite young. Quite young. And I'm just telling you that because in both of their examples, I saw people who faced death and just accepted it and didn't panic. Now, that being said, though, both of them could have been putting on a face for me, right? They could have been really good at hiding their struggle. That's definitely possible because I was young and they wouldn't want me to see that. But what I could tell you is that what I saw from them is just acceptance. Just acceptance. Each of them were told by doctors that they were terminal, they were going to die, and that they had probably a year to live. And both times the doctors were right, but they didn't freak out and panic. They just accepted it and rested and tried to get better and didn't get better. And so that's what I think about when I think about stuff like this. When I think about, can we accept what's going to happen to us? Can we accept it? I don't know. But what we can do is try not to hold on to everything so tightly. We hold on to our possessions tightly. We hold on to grudges and opinions and labels we put on the world. We hold on to all these things so tightly. And yes, we also hold on to our youth, right? People dye their beards, right? People hold on to their youth really hard. People get facelifts and things like that. And it's just you can't pretend this isn't happening to us. It is. So I think those industries maybe are not, I don't like what those industries are doing that help you kind of look young. I don't really like that. But anyway, I think gray hair is beautiful. But anyway, what we can do is do our meditation practice, is learn how to be more mindful and more aware, because it doesn't add years to your life, but it adds life to your years. It gives you, if we're sleepwalking through life, then we're missing things, and life's going by fast, and we're just quickly approaching our end. And if we learn how to see things more clearly and pay more attention and really be fully present, then we're not sleepwalking anymore. We're awake, and being awake is good. You don't want to die sleepwalking. You want to be awake and be aware and appreciate the good things in life and find contentment. And sleepwalking through life, we're not going to find it. So this is why meditation is important. It helps us live a more full life. Live a more full life. And a lot of people aren't living a very full life. And they're just going through the motions, and they just go through life and they do what they're supposed to do, and then they die and they never live. And then aside from that, the last thing I want to mention is this. I think that we're in this together, and we need to remember that again and again and again. We're in this together. We're all growing old. We're all losing things we care about. We're all going to die. We're all getting sick. That's really on our minds a lot right now, I think. We're all getting sick. We're all of the nature to get sick. We're all of the nature to grow old. We're all of the nature to die. And when we remember that, when our mind has that in the center, we're all in this together, then it's harder to be a jerk. It's harder to be a jerk when you realize the person you're talking to is in this with you. It's harder to be a jerk. Not that you can't. You can find reasons to be a jerk. You can always find reasons to be mean to people. But maybe because we're all trapped together, we should just be nice. Just have compassion, kindness and compassion. It's like life is sometimes like we are trapped in a burning building together, and we're still arguing about which furniture in the building is the best. We're trapped in a burning building together, but we're still arguing over which furniture is the best instead of, trying to put out the fire or whatever, right? And so it's like that. It's like that. And I think that we owe each other kindness. I think that it's the least we can do when we're all in this life together with its struggles. But we don't. We get into arguments over meaningless shit, and we make ourselves unhappy, and we make others unhappy for nothing. And we get eaten by trivial things, and it makes us unhappy. It makes us unhappy. So that's what this is really about. It's about be more mindful so you have more. A whole new world can open up for you if we learn how to pay attention. A whole new world. Nothing in the world is ordinary. Everything is amazing if we learn how to look at it the right way. And that comes from meditation practice. That's number one. That's the number one lesson from this. We can't add years to our life, but we can add life to our years. We can see the world more vividly, and it's very powerful. And we just have to decide to do it and learn how to do it. Because the way we're living now, where we just are collecting things and we're just hoarding wealth and possessions, and we're just sleepwalking through life, we're just maybe messing on our phone while we're walking around, we're just missing everything, that life doesn't serve us very well. And then just the second message of this is just be kind to others, because we're all fighting hard battles. We're all in this. We're all in this same struggle of growing up in this world, growing old, and passing away. And it's just the way it is, and there's no certainty in life, and we all have no certainty in our lives. Even if it seems like someone else has everything, has it all together, they probably don't. And if it seems like this person doesn't deserve my kindness because this person is a total asshole, or this person has made lots of bad choices to put them in this position they're in, they still deserve our compassion, because it's still the case that we're all in this together, and that life's a dumpster fire sometimes. And we're all getting sick, and we're all getting old, and we're all going to die, and we're all losing people we care about throughout our lives. And it's just the way it is. So, above all else, we need to just be nice to each other. So, that's it for today. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. This is way darker than usual, isn't it? But hopefully something lighter will come next time. Have a good day.